Good morning, thriving warriors. Today is Tuesday, May 9th, 2023. Here we are once again in Amargosa Valley. And the weather currently is 52 degrees. The high today is going to be 82, and the low is in the low 50s. So 30-degree temperature swing. But we are here at Department of Career Services, where our goal is to help you get from where you are from point A to point B on your journey. Life is a journey. It's not a sprint. It's not a marathon. It's an ongoing adventure, but it's punctuated by times of boredom, fear, uncertainty, ennui, etc., etc. Good morning, Charlene. First person here. We're going to be leaving about 6:30 to get there so that we can get V to the VA for her meeting. So if everybody could be ready, but I'll call you from the road. All right, but back to what we're doing. Good morning, what a bevy. What a bevy. The last day of being in the teens, the last day of being a teenager. Wow, what is Wada Bevy going to do about that? Or let's see, we do What is Wada Bevy going to do in the last day of being a teenager? Inquiring minds want to know. Good morning, Diana. So back to what are we doing here? Back to that. So how do we help you on your journey? We do it through a series of little morsels that are easy to collect out of the proverbial ocean, the metaphorical virtual ocean of life, as we're on our way to Successlandia after leaving Someday Isle. What, Bevy? I'm leading a meditation later. Boom, good one. What type of meditation, you might ask? I would ask. I did ask. Okay, so this podcast is one such morsel. Down below in the description. Please subscribe, share, click on the bell, thumbs up. You know the thing. Please do that. Mindful Buddhist, as opposed to mindless Buddhist. Sort of like more moons versus less moons. What? Okay. All right. So let us get started. How do we do that? Coffee. Mine has MCT oil in it. I wonder what Wada Bevy thinks about that. So we have a little bit of coffee, MCT oil. And I say, good cracker. All right, next is our quick little immediate morsel of the day. It's simple advice from an 80-year-old, be brave. Even if you're not, pretend to be, no one can tell the difference. True, righto. Be brave. Even if you're not, pretend, because no one can tell the difference. And if you think about it for a second, what's the difference between being brave and pretending to be brave? Don't know. Okay. All right, next, our attitude of gratitude. So, we need pen, paper. We need to write this stuff down. So write in your book, I'm so happy and grateful now that blank. I'm so happy and grateful now that blank. And then ask your brain the question. Ask your brain the question, what am I so happy and grateful for? Well, I get to go to Vegas today. I get to spend the day or the morning with V and Matt and anybody else that wants to go to City Impact. Have a noon conference call for our new website, thrivingwarrior.me. It's a beautiful sunset. It's great to be able to look out that window right there and see the yellow color reflecting off the green grass, etc. So that's kind of cool. So I'm happy and grateful for that. And to move forward, next thing. What is next on our hit parade? Oh, today's TED Talk is from Seth Godin, The Tribes We Lead. So this week, we are now learning to get the crew for our boat. Last week, we learned how to build the boat. We learned the importance of the sails, the rudder, the below deck, and the hull of the ship in the context of our 4-part program: physical, mental, emotional, spiritual. We learned that you have to have all 4 of those to have a successful journey. Physically, you have to be fit. You might do yoga or work out at the gym, do jujitsu, Muay Thai, whatever. You have to keep your body in good physical condition, and you can't exercise your way out of a bad diet. So you have to have a good diet. What does that mean? Whenever possible, eliminate sugar and bread. Boom. Whenever possible, eliminate sugar and bread. We have people here think a sign of success is to have sugary bread-like things. They just don't want to change. They want to stay who they are and have a better result. Okay, as we're following the path of Stanford scientists about fasting and eating good foods and supplements, we still have the bulk of our people here, Pahrump, and in Las Vegas, and out there everywhere. The bulk of the people are still believing that no, diet isn't really that important. And then they have bad health. Okay, so physical, sails, mental, rudder, be able to steer your boat from someday Isle to Success Landia across the predictably unpredictable and often harsh and deadly ocean, filled with lots of bad stuff. You don't want to fall overboard on your ship. You don't want your hull to be breached. You don't want to spend time going around in circles or crashing into things. You want to get from point A to point B. You need to have a below deck that's safe and warm and protects you from the sun and the cold and the rain and the wind and all that stuff. Someplace you can go to relax, recover, recuperate. And of course, the most important thing is the hull of the ship, which is the spiritual aspect, which is for us, Christianity. Jesus is the Messiah, or was the Messiah. I don't know. He's outside of time. All right, next, moving right along. So today's TED Talk, Seth Godin. How do we get a crew on our ship? So yesterday we learned from David Logan, that join tribe, nudge forward. Join some other tribe, nudge it forward is one easy way to get people on your boat. So now today's question, Seth Godin answers the question, well, how do I nudge them forward? He has a 4-part formula. Find part of the status quo to change. Hey guys, here's a better direction over here. Find part of the status quo to change. Tell a compelling story. Connect the true believers. Ignore the non-true believers. And then lead them. So that's what Seth Godin is going to talk about today. So you've got your people. You've identified a group of people that you might want to have on your boat because you're not going to make it alone. You cannot make it alone. So you've identified a group of people, it's a tribe that you're part of, and now you need to tell a compelling story or find something to change. That direction isn't the best direction, guys. Or maybe we need to do this to get there faster. Find something to change, find part of the status quo to change, tell a compelling story, connect the true believers, ignore the non-true believers, dust off your sandals, go to the next town, and then lead them. Boom, done. Pen drop. Okay. Next, our FABLE, our able fable. No, sorry, Seth Godin. What comes after trust? What comes after trust? Let's see, who all is here? Pen drop, LOL. Right. Okay, Seth Godin. What comes after trust? Walk into a bank with a stocking on your head and you're probably going to get arrested. Civil society as we know it is dependent on identity and responsibility. A person does something and owns the consequences. True. The requirement of identity leads to the dynamic of the free market that we all trust. This requirement of identity leads to the dynamic of the free market. Okay. Even companies which aren't people, but lately have been given many of their privileges, occasionally have to pay the price for abusing our trust. Okay, so kind of trust is everything. What comes after trust? But what happens when the email, the essay, the voice, the interactions aren't from a person, but from a swarm of bots? Is that really Donny Osmond singing us happy birthday or a clever AI construction? Okay, so once again, Seth Godin is going down the AI track so that 20 years from now, people will look back at these things. On the other hand, people are really making good use of the free AI on this blog, and so far it's pretty trustworthy. Okay, so Seth has his own AI, which is kind of cool. You can ask it questions, and it goes through all of the stuff he's, at least the 20 years of blog posts, and comes up with answers. So it's kind of cool. When the internet began to chip away at our interpersonal relationships, we relied on brand names or clues to figure out what was real. We invented CAPTCHAs and filters to figure out who or what was trustworthy. A certain kind of trust is no longer useful. Selfish hustlers are going to be one of the first big winners in the AI race, abusing systems that were built on traditional ideas of identity and responsibility. Then what? This is a fine moment to start taking the question seriously. Then what? What happens? What comes after trust? I mean, if you can't trust people, then what? If you don't know that it's an AI, it's not real, there's no one responsible. No, you don't know who's behind it, the identity, who's taking responsibility for the action. If you don't know that, then what? Something to ponder, maybe at the Buddhist meditation. Diana, Charlene, do you have a copy of Forged in Crisis? Yes, there's about 20 copies in the main room. Charlene, if you pull one out, give it to me so I can put it in the car. I will bring it back. Done, handled. Okay, next, our fable, two travelers and a bear. Two men were traveling in company through a forest when all at once a huge bear crashed out of the brush near them. One of the men, thinking of his own safety, climbed a tree. The other, unable to fight the savage beast alone, threw himself on the ground and lay still as if he were dead. He had heard that a bear will not touch a dead body. It must have been true, for the bear snuffed at the man's head a while, and then the bear sniffed. This says snuffed, but I think it meant sniffed. The bear sniffed at the man's head a while, and then, seeming to be satisfied he was dead, walked away. The man in the tree climbed down. It looked just as if the bear whispered in your ear, he said. What did he tell you? He said, answered the other, that it was not at all wise to keep company with a fellow who would desert his friend in a moment of danger. The moral of the story: misfortune is the test of true friendship. True. Okay, that's true. Misfortune is the test of true friendship. So what happened? Two guys are out walking. Bear comes along. One guy immediately saves himself, leaving the other guy to fend for himself. Moral of the story: misfortune is the test of true friendship. So if they were true friends, it would have been let's save each other. Okay, different time, different place, but I think that's a good answer. I say to you, all for one and one for all, not every man for himself. Or, as Benjamin Franklin said, we must all hang together, or most assuredly, we shall all hang separately. Okay, so what did the first guy do wrong? He had an every man for himself attitude, and that can lead us back to the oxen, the 4 oxen and the lion, that if you work together, you can fend off danger. If you think only about yourself, you will lose, because the 4th law of power comes in. Fairness only occurs between equals. The strong do what they can, the weak suffer what they must. 2 people in this story, 2 people might have been able to be successful fighting off the bear, and certainly not one person. It's always better to work together. All righty then. What is next on our hit parade? Oh, our prayer. Prayer of the day. Solidarity prayer. Aha. Solidarity. God of peace and justice, help us to change so that we work for a better world that mirrors your wisdom. Give us the desire to act in solidarity so that the pillars of injustice crumble and those now crushed are set free. Amen. I think Father Boyle would appreciate that. Okay, tomorrow is our Baraka, our Desert Oasis Mission Zoom call at 6:30. There's certain readings to do. Genesis 3:16 to 18, Leviticus 18:22, Romans 1:26 and 27, Ephesians chapter 5:22 to 25. So we will do that, prepare for that. And where we at? 17:51. Okay, this has been a long one. Charlene says, okay, bing. And now what? What, Diana? What do we do now, Diana? What do we do now? Right, next, second to last morsel from the ocean to grab, scoop up, put in our mouth, chomp it down, get some quick little nourishment is what? The Navy SEAL maxim: act such that yesterday was the only easy day. Push yourself just a little bit harder today. Get a little bit more comfortable being uncomfortable. Embrace the suck just a little bit more. Act such that everything you do matters just a little bit more. Give a little bit more service to others. Do those things. Will do for you. If you want your life to change, you need to change. If you want your life to change, you need to change. Back to the food we eat. Okay, and Charlene answers the last and most important question: when is the journey over? When is the journey over? The journey is over when we stop breathing, when our heart stops. That's when the journey is over. If you are still here, God is not through with you yet. You still have things to do. Righto. And with that, happy last day of being a teenager, Watabebi. Diana says, and cut. Watabebi has smiley meditation face. And Charlene maybe says, and cut. Okay, boom.